It's me again, John Banks Jr., coming at you with another brief message because it's something that I wanted to share and I forgot to say this. Was it last week or was it this week? Wow. Actually, yeah, it was last week. Last week, somewhere along the way, my thoughts were going in the direction of believing that I was understanding what the purpose of the prayer warrior call was. And it's to equip us, it's to equip individuals like yourself and myself, and how that we should be witnesses for the Lord, witnesses for what God has done for us. And because there's so many people out there, and my feeling is that the amount of people that are going to need some type of spiritual help is going to increase. And when it increases, God's going to need individuals that he can use to help those people come to him, come to the Lord, come to Jesus, understand what salvation is. And for some, it's going to be a return. It's going to be them realizing that they've done everything that they could, such as just like myself and others, we've done everything that we could, and it didn't work out. So we return back to our first love. We return back to the cross because we know that that works. And when things begin to happen and the confusion starts to erupt, and people begin to wonder because they trusted in their jobs, or they trusted in their finances, or they trusted in a person, and it didn't work out. They trusted in the government, and it didn't work out. When these things begin to happen, there are going to be so many people that are going to be looking for some place, someone that can give them some type of guidance, someone that can say, here's a good word for you. Um, this is what Jesus would say. This is what a spiritual lifestyle will bring to you. This is how you can be prosperous. Just turn it over to the Lord. And we, myself included, are in a position on this prayer warrior call, it seems, to be given the instructions that we're going to need for those times. And those times are going to come. I don't know if you're paying attention to what's been going on in the world, but there is a lot of issues. The world has a lot of issues going on in it worldwide. And we're in the right place at the right time with the right people on the prayer warrior call to learn what it is that we need to do to prepare for these things and how we can help others prepare for these things. Just like I had mentioned earlier that Pastor Denise was expounding on how we should be raising our children, even down to the point of what we should say to our children. She she brought out in my mind, well, actually, she brought it out in plenty of us that were on a call, because a lot of times I would love to say something, but I just try to hold back so that other people that may not have said anything on the call about what they're learning can say something. And I find that so many times, once one person says something, I can add something on to that. I can piggyback on that. But then right after that person, another person would say something, and I can piggyback on that too. So I enjoy just sitting back and listening and knowing that I can just piggyback on each one of those individuals. The same feeling that they're expressing, I'm sharing it with them. And, so God has given me this outlet. Let me know that video is my outlet, because I could never tell it all. No, I could never tell it all. Like one of the sisters had said something about being careful about what you say around your children. And I remembered a thought that I had had recently about the fact that sometimes I would say to someone, oh, you shouldn't say that around your children, 3, 4, 5, 6, a young child. You shouldn't say stuff like that. Adult stuff that, no, you shouldn't say stuff like that, whether it's foul language or whatever. Don't, no, you shouldn't say that around a child. And I would have the parent say to me, oh, the child doesn't understand. And I would know to myself that that child understands, because when you say something to a child, and the child says, "Oh, I don't understand what you're saying," and they go, "Oh, well, she's too young," and then you look back at that child, and you see that child's got a little smirk on their face, like, children are a lot smarter. I've said this so many times to individuals that children are a lot smarter than we give them credit for. And so when the sister had mentioned that we have to be careful about what we say around children, it reminded me of saying to people, you shouldn't really say that around children. That old saying about little pitchers having big ears. That was something that the adults would say. It was supposed to be code to let you know that you shouldn't talk about that. Let's not talk about that because that child is picking up on it, whether you know it or not. And in those days, they really did believe that. So we're bringing back those days, aren't we? Because we're learning that nothing has changed. Little pitchers still have big ears. So be careful what you say around your children because they're going to learn from you. They're going to learn from what you say. And sometimes they might just repeat what you say and embarrass you. God bless. Peace.